Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I'm still kind of disheveled this morning. Trying a new way of doing things, and that's why I'm a little bit, a little bit mishtuk. So what do we have going on right now? We've got a lot of news going on, and that's a big deal. So the first batter up is apparently, the U.S. and China have reached a tentative agreement on a framework. Yeah, I know, another framework. But things seem hopeful as both sides seem to be speaking positively. We'll see what happens. Nothing is sealed yet. And we have to also remember that a framework is just a framework. So we've got to keep that in mind. However, like I said, the market is up. The crypto market is up for the most part. I'm still keeping the color amber because we're on wishy-washy grounds, and I think that's going to be the case following this whole week. So we also have a lot of things coming through in terms of earnings. So that's something else that we should be paying attention to. So there's a lot that I have my eye on that could affect this week. Like I said, I'm keeping it on amber. Market is up, but I don't think it's, rock solid. So so this color is my opinion of what the market is doing now. Given the market is where it is, I might just shave some profit. Why? Because Bitcoin actually hit above 115. But we'll go over the numbers in a little bit. Tom Lee predicts that the S&P could reach 7,000 by 2026. I don't know what I mean by 2027. What the heck is going on with these dates? It's ridiculous. We've altered certain things about how I publish things. And so we're in the middle of that transition right now. So certain things I've got to double check and triple check. But the big news, so yeah, S&P could go up, and that's really great. It's driven by AI. That's great. Government shutdown, blah, 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 blah. That's cool, right? Gives us a lot of information about what Tom Lee is thinking. I think Tom Lee, in my personal opinion, is a little overly optimistic. I don't mind optimism. I know his numbers work, but the odds of those numbers working, that's the one that's got me, right? So I'm kind of like, yeah, his numbers work, but the odds of those numbers working, that's the one that's got me, right? So I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. LAG, what's going on? Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to put a number on that. I'm really not even going to try to put a number on that. I'm just saying. And then what people don't pay attention to are my man D Bluey. My man D Bluey letting me know the logo is missing. This is what I call a community. That's what's up. When you see somebody falling down, you take the time to stop and step them up, pick them back up. That's what's up. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. So, yeah, I don't know. But here's what some people are missing. What I believe people are missing is the idea of shorts. Everybody's concentrating on where the S&P is going to go upwardly, but you should also be paying attention to what people think about the S&P on the short side. Just saying, just more numbers for you to crunch, but do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Just saying. That's just me. Just saying. Dang, the SPY is 683 right now. 7,000 is crazy. I'm trying not to talk about it. Remember what I just said earlier this morning, right? Over optimism can be painful. Just putting it out there. Kraken reports Q3 2025 revenue of $648 million in EBITDA. Earnings before interest taxes. I forgot what the DA stands for. 178.6 million, signaling transformation into a disciplined crypto giant with potential IPO. Expansions like X stocks. Were you not paying attention? Yeah. So they have NinjaTrader and they just bought X stocks, reported that last week or the week before last. And strategic acquisitions bridging traditional finance and Web3. I've been telling you guys to pay attention for a while that Kraken has been quietly making moves and nobody seems to be paying attention. They'll probably pay attention when Kraken decides to go IPO. And why would Kraken go IPO? Why the heck not? How much money would they earn going IPO? You know what I mean? And then they become a really big player in this space. When you look at Kraken, you look at what Kraken has been doing, what Kraken has done, I think the most brilliant move that they did was purchasing NinjaTrader. Purchasing NinjaTrader, and no. That was probably the second largest thing that they did. No, it's not the purchase of X stocks, which is also a brilliant move. No, it's becoming a bank. I've been saying for years, it's going to be so much easier for crypto companies to become banks than it will be for banks to become crypto companies. And we're seeing that play out right now. Look at how hard it is for banks to actually get into the crypto space. They've got to make deals. They got to do all kinds of development. And I don't think they've got that entrepreneurial spirit that's required to be in the Web3 space. Yes, I said required. I absolutely said required. Why? You've got to be hungry. You can't be lethargic. You can't be sitting and resting on your laurels of yesteryear. You've got to be hungry in how you want to not just move forward, but move onward and upward. Thank you, Dr. Brindle. Rest in peace. Yeah, that was my junior high school principal, and he was an awesome man. He didn't teach us to move forward. He taught us to move onward and upward. So for all my friends out there, Sousa, stand up. Now, when I look at that, I'm looking at Kraken making all the right moves, buying all the right kind of companies. What do you say banks do? Oh, hey, we're going to announce that we're going to be able to handle 3 different coins. Now, they have to go that route. There's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool. It'll increase their assets under management because people will be able to stay. They'll be able to bounce back and forth between fiat and all that good stuff. Cool. Kraken's already got hundreds of coins under its belt. Becoming a bank just makes it easier for them to flow fiat. Imagine becoming a bank makes it easier for them to flow fiat. I also want you to think about something else. The upcoming rules, the slimmed down rules that are being talked about right now, Kraken didn't go through that. Kraken went through it the traditional way to become a bank, not just a partial bank. Yeah. So when I look at Kraken versus everybody else, I look at Kraken as a massive powerhouse that's coming along. Don't sleep on Kraken. That's what I'm going to say. Mt. Gox extended its creditor repayment deadline to October 31st, 2026, after court approval with most major categories finalized, but exceptions remaining, leaving creditors uncertain. I don't know why you're uncertain. I think the only thing they're uncertain about is when they're going to get paid. I think that's the only thing that they're uncertain about. But I'm pretty sure everybody thinks they're going to get at least some kind of money back, some kind of value back. NYDIG, NYDIG, finds Bitcoin's price is more influenced by the weakening US dollar than inflation. Yeah. And it's kind of challenging its digital gold narrative, right? If inflation isn't your key lever right there, and it's actually this, well, yeah, it kind of says, well, is it really digital gold? I've never looked at Bitcoin as digital gold. I don't even like the term, actually. I think the term is stupid. Oh, it's digital gold. It's digital gold. What the hell does that even mean? It is a completely different asset. Gold is a physical, precious metal, right? Bitcoin is a new way of moving value around the world. Yes, there are faster ways and all that good stuff, but when it first came out, it was a new way of moving value around the world from peer to peer, from entity to entity. Okay? Started off as person to person. That was the big deal. Go look it up. pizza. Just saying. First purchase was pizza. And so you look at this and you're kind of like, huh, really? Yes, really. So digital gold, I never understood, the correlation between the two. Yes, sometimes they move in sync, they move in unison. That's great. Other times they don't. Just saying. You have to look at each asset as its own asset. It's good to have something to compare it to. But as long as they're two different assets, they're two different assets. Doge is not Bitcoin. For example, XLM is not XRP. For example. Just saying, you've got different things going on. Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin. Used to be, but not now, not anymore. Right? So you have to do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Must. Absolute must. What other news do we have? Hold on, I'm not done yet. You've got Western Union. Western Union is piloting stablecoin-based settlement systems under the Genius Act's regulatory framework. That's going to be a big deal. As an added bonus, I want you to go see who Western Union is in bed with. That's all I'm going to say. Go look that up. Go look that up. You will be, if you haven't done it before, you will be surprised. You will absolutely be surprised. And then at the same time, I want you to go look up MoneyGram and who's in bed with MoneyGram. I'm not going to give it away. Just go do that as your own little homework. And then come back tonight during the crypto overflow and drop a note on the video in the comments and let me know. What else do we have? MicroStrategy is now rebranded as Strategy. We know that. Slowed Bitcoin purchases, but now they're hinting at doing a little bit more. Every time MicroStrategy goes a little bit quiet with their Bitcoin purchases, I just wonder what else they have going on. Remember, they were doing $14 billion worth of purchases within the next 3 years, and I think they've got 2 years left on that plan. Maybe, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be all right. Just saying, just putting that out there for you. Just saying. U.S. Bank launches digital assets. They're doing a lot. The U.S. Bank launches a digital assets unit amid rising blockchain adoption. That's a big deal for a bank like that to be making a move. Because what they're saying is, we're coming. We're late. Technically what they're saying is, hey, we're late to the game, but we're coming. Can't be mad about that. They've woken up, they've opened up their eyes, and they're saying, okay, we're going to go do this. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that at all. Disappointed that it took them so long, but, kind of is what it is. What else do we have? North Korea stole $2.84 billion in cryptocurrency since 2024 via cyber attacks and illicit IT labor. Yeah, they're going all out of the way to do this, including hacking exchanges like Bybit and deploying 1,000 to 1,500 IT workers in China. And it's to fund their weapons programs and everything else. But countries are beginning to get the tools to fight back, says Chainalysis. Go look up Chainalysis. Chainalysis is a good company. I'm not putting my stamp of approval on them in terms of what your kind of research is. I'm just saying I like Chainalysis. That's all I'm saying. Okay? But it's kind of a big deal that we can see, what's going on. And eventually countries are going to fight back, and they're going to hit back hard. I think that you have various entities out there that are going to hit North Korea very hard digitally. And it's going to become quite painful for them, as if it isn't already. At some point, North Korea is going to be ostracized and on its own island. I can see things coming for North Korea. I really can. I really, really can. Countries are waking up and they're tired of it. Just saying. Central banks have prioritized gold over U.S. treasuries for the first time in 30 years, driven by declining trust in that fiat. Now, I want you to think about this. They've been doing this for months now, that they've been racking up gold, especially China. They've been racking up gold. Why? Because they probably already overweighted on U.S. debt. That's why. So what do you buy? Gold. Remember that whole gold conversation that was happening a while ago? We want our gold back. We want our gold back. Blah, 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 blah. That was what Germany was saying. Yeah. Pay attention. Pay attention. There's a lot going on. A lot. Just saying. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits. And absolutely invest deliberately. The GMB3. Now, you know what we should do? That's right. We should go over the news. Go over the numbers, rather. So let's see. Let me flip this over. Take that away. Move my notes out of the way. All right. Top of the morning to you, KG. Let's see. So Dow futures implied open up 259 points. S&P implied futures or implied open up 60 points. NASDAQ implied open up 335.75 points. Oil down 0.63. US 10-year up 0.025. Again, because there is a possible deal on a framework that's on the table right now. And the devil's in the details. That's all I can say. The devil's in the details. We can't be sitting here and just saying, oh, yeah, no. The devil's in the freaking details. And that's what we're going to be waiting for. Let's go over what's going on this week, not just today. We've got Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta. So all the top companies reporting this week. Then you've got Eli Lilly, Visa, MasterCard, Exxon, AbbVie. There have been big moves in that space. United Health Group, that's another one we should be paying attention to. Again, healthcare is a key thing. That's why we should be paying attention. Healthcare, pharmaceuticals. Pay attention. Novo Nordisk is about to buy another company for 1 point something billion or something like that, some crazy number. We just saw that over here. Novartis to buy, Novartis to buy U.S. biotech firm Avidity Bioscience for about $12 billion. Look at my number was even wrong. Oof, it's embarrassing. Anyway, so you have all these companies: Merck and Company, Caterpillar, Chevron. Who else? ServiceNow. That's a big company to be paying attention to. Boeing is another one. Boeing just coming off that massive downplay on their stock. They're about to come out like a phoenix. That's what I'm expecting. Verizon is coming out. World's largest internet security firm. Whether you choose to believe it or not, that's a fact. Who else do you have? Gilead is coming out. Again, pharma. S&P Global is about to come out. Stryker. Who else? ADP, the payroll company. So you just have a lot going on. I am going to be paying attention to Southern Company. What else do we have? Yeah, I'm not expecting any numbers. We can just drop that right there. Fear and Greed Index is at 51. It was at 40. It's been steadily coming up from the 29 it was at a few days ago. DeFi Llama, we're looking at $159.085 billion in total value locked. This is where we want to be. This is where we want to be. No doubt, no joke. So what's going on now? Now we are in the middle of my band. My band goes from 109,337 to 123,092. We're toward the middle of my band, and this is where we absolutely need to be so that we can be in striking distance of that new all-time high. Okay? That's why this is a big deal. This is why it's a big deal. I can't draw a trend line right here, and it wouldn't even make sense to draw a trend line, right? Because that would be too steep. Look at these two. Those are even, this one seems a little bit more realistic than this one, and this is just going up like that. I can't see that as a strong trend line, right? I'm just saying. For me, I just can't see it as a strong trend line. What else do we have? Everybody's sitting there kind of going, oh my gosh, what do I buy? Everything's going up. Everything's so costly. This is why we have the GMB X Factor. Why? Because it lets me know how far away things are. As a matter of fact, I think I might have to refresh that screen. Here's the GMB X Factor. There you go. Just to show you, Virtuals Protocol up 18.96% with a GMB X Factor of 2.47. That means from right here, it's got to do 2.47x to get to its all-time high. And it's up to you to make that decision on whether or not you believe it's going to be there. Just saying. What I really want to look at are the losers. Everybody's going up, but I want to see the losers. Losers stop right here. Is anybody I'm paying attention to? Aster is down 8.18% with a GMB X factor of 123. Now because I hold a bag, I've got to go find out why it's down. I've got to go find out why it's down. I just lost 8%. I mean, I'm in the black. But that was profit that just walked out the door for me. So I've got to go do my own research. Just saying, there are things that we need to do to keep on top of things. And that's why we do it. Looking at the big board again, for me, I'm still sprinkle on BTC, ETH, XRP, Solana, if you're into that kind of thing. If you're paying attention to Solana, it was just a week and a half ago that it was at 170, 180, 170, and it was in 170s and then now it's up 200. Yeah, just saying. Pay attention to these things. There are ways that you could be making money. Let's pretend it was at 180. It's still at 180. Now it's at 200. Okay, that's a 20 point move, right? Here's the problem, though. Not a problem, but here's what most people don't think. Oh, I'm up greater than 10% from that point to this point. Sometimes you got to play the volatility, and sometimes you have to play the hodl game. Hold on for dear life. That's what hodl means. HODL. Right? And sometimes you have to separate the two, and you've got to say, well, these wallets I'm just holding. This is my strategy. I've got wallets that I just hodl. I have other wallets that I play volatility. When I can. I don't always have time. But when I can, I'll play the volatility. Why? Because it can make me money. 10% here, 5% there, 20% here. Now you know why I have my 5% rule. Nobody's really asked me, Eddie, how come you have a 5% rule? Well, because it's not worth it for me on the tax side to make a move for less than 5%. Oh, now you see what I'm talking about. I don't have issues with taxes. Pay your freaking taxes. You think I'm tripping? No, pay your taxes. Why? If you're making it, you're paying it. If you're making money, you're paying your taxes. If you're paying it, you're making it. If you're paying taxes, you're making money. Pay your taxes. Just saying. I don't want problems. I want solutions. I want solutions. That's what we give to our clients, and that's what we're expecting. And again, look over here. BCH, up a lot. Up a lot. People sleep on BCH. I don't know why. BMB, ADA, Aave, SHIB, Doge, Link. I mean, these are all coins that I'm interested in. Ton, Sui, Hype, Aster, H-Bar. I mean, there are a lot of them. Monero is another one I'm interested in. There are a lot of coins I'm interested in that I keep track of, that I sprinkle into. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And you can see it right here. Things are going up. Things are looking up. Let me see where Aster is. There it is. I'm suspecting because of this, somebody put a boost on. I'm expecting that it'll probably go up and hit 110 or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking at all these coins. I'm like, oh man, I can make money off of this. Like, hold it, where's Mantle? There's Mantle, 1.69. Just saying. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at PayPal. Somebody's been using World Liberty. Why? Because they don't want PayPal to bunny hop it again. I tell people all the time, be careful with this World Liberty. Be very careful. PayPal, real coin. I think people are really using it. World Liberty, yeah, nah. There's a minimum of $2 billion of World Liberty that I just write off. I'm just like, you would not be here if it wasn't for that one transaction. And now I just think that it's not being used, it's being played, right? I just think it's a bot haven. That's just me. I just think it's a bot haven. I think it adds to, that story, that narrative. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about this community, because this is not just a bunch of people watching me run my mouth. This is an actual community where we actually help each other, share with each other, so that we can all grow our bags. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. And I'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Crypto Overflow. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.